That's me finished. And I apologise for being boring. So the boring person now is going to shut up, and the interesting people are going to start talking now. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Megan. And Megan will explain who she is and her background, and then she'll tell you a little bit about what she's been up to. Okay, so over to Megan.
Hello, my name is Megan Austin. I'm 19 years old and from the West Midlands. I'm currently studying at the University of Manchester. 3 years ago, I took part on a project where I learned about the Holocaust and the lives of those people who were persecuted by the Nazis simply because they were Jewish. Today we are here because it's Holocaust Memorial Day, and we take time to reflect on those whose lives were changed forever. Sorry. I've had the honour to speak with some of these people myself. I asked them what happened, and they told me that they had to leave their homes and their families behind because they were scared of what might happen to them. They are amazing people. Some of them were children, and they were separated from everyone they knew. It's so hard to imagine being on your own in a new country, not knowing the language, but that's what they had to do. It is amazing because they used their experience of these terrible events to teach us all about the dangers of prejudice, hatred and racism. My hope for all of you is that today you'll join me in remembering the past, but you'll also join me in making sure that in the future we live in a society where everyone is accepted, no matter what religion they are or what background they're from. The theme for Holocaust Memorial Day this year is Torn from Home, which aims to teach people of the extent which Jewish women, men and children came to the UK during the Second World War. Before the outbreak of war, during 1938 and 1939, some Jewish children managed to escape Germany, Austria and Czechoslovakia. This was through a programme like no other in history called the Kindertransport. This was originally a short-term solution, as it was thought that the danger in Germany would only be temporary. It was thought the children would soon return to their parents, so the adults were not allowed to go with the children. The children had to make the very emotional and I imagine nerve-wracking trip to Britain alone. Just imagine for a moment, at your age or even younger, torn from your home, family and friends, without knowing for certain that your life would ever be normal again, without knowing for certain you'd ever see your parents again. Britain offered asylum to around 10,000 children through this incredible programme, saving the lives of 10,000 innocent children who otherwise would have died like their family members, friends and neighbours. Some of these children are now the incredible survivors I mentioned earlier. They travel all over Britain, sharing their stories which can never be forgotten. We, as young people, must continue sharing their testimonies to ensure the lives of so many Jewish people and children are remembered. Personally, what inspired me, my granddad came here from the Czech Republic at the age of 10 in 1939. His mum and sisters put him on a train to England. He never saw them again because they were kicked out of their home, forced to live in a ghetto and then murdered by the Nazis in 1942. Imagine what this must have been like. Today, people fly all around the world on holiday, but in those days, hardly anyone travelled to another country. So imagine what it must have been like to be torn from your home, sent to a strange country where you know no one and where you can't even speak the language. But I also want to say that he found a safe haven here, got a good job, had 4 children, and has 10 grandchildren. I think it's a great thing about our country that it provided a refuge to thousands of children, provided a safe home for people who survived the Holocaust. That shows why we believe in freedom and fairness and intolerance and in standing up to racism and prejudice wherever we find it. Thanks.
I'd just like to say thanks to Megan, just checking. It's only the second time that she's actually done this, so I thought she did absolutely brilliantly there. We've got the old hands there who've done it quite a few times, but Megan was there. Does anyone have any questions that they might like to ask Megan? I have one, but I don't know if yes. Microphones, please.
How did you get interested in the Holocaust?
It started off because of my family connection with my granddad, and then at college I was offered to go on a trip to Auschwitz with the Holocaust Educational Trust, and they taught me so much about what happened, and the amazing trip led to many more trips that I've been on. I've been to Budapest with them and learned about how Jews were persecuted there, and so yeah, it was through college really.
Okay, thank you.
Microphone, nice loud voice, please, yeah, from Ranworth Square there. There we are.
When did you start talking about this, like, in public to other people?
I did my first ever talk at a Holocaust Memorial event, I think 2 years ago. So I was 17, and then I haven't done one since. So.
How long have you been interested in the Holocaust?
I remember roughly being interested in the Holocaust probably when I was about your age, because my granddad would tell me about what happened to him. And then as I've grown older, I've been able to learn more and more details about specifically what happened to so many Jewish people.
As we're running short of time, can I ask the last question? How did you become... Sorry, apologise from over there, but you'll get a chance to ask a question to one of the other people. How do you actually become an HET, Holocaust Educational Trust ambassador? What's the process about how you became one?
I think every college in the UK is offered a chance to take 2 students on a trip to Auschwitz, and then following this you do a next steps programme where you have to think of a project, so it could be an art display, or I wrote an article for my newspaper in my local area about what I saw and how it's affected me, and then you become an ambassador from that.
So can we just have another big round of applause for Megan?